Hello everyone, welcome back to Flange Time with Flange Master Cal. My name's Graham, I'm the Flange Master Cals, and as always I hope you all flanged it up and remember Cal. And also make sure to hit that subscribe button, but don't smash it, don't break it, don't club it with a hammer. What I want you to do is I want you to gently tap it like my cat trying to get my attention. Shy Guy does that all the time, Midna too, they both do it. They do it all the time, it's a cat thing. Anyways, I want you to hit the subscribe button like a cat trying to get attention. Make sure to also hit that subscribe, or not the subscribe, the notifications bell, so you all keep up to date with my awesome and content. And with that, we are going to flange on into today's topic, which is the Joe Rogan gaming clip that kind of makes it look like Joe Rogan hates video games. And the clip on Twitter is not a full clip. The actual full part of that conversation of a 3-hour podcast is more like 4 to 5 minutes long. So you're only getting a minute or so of over 4 minutes of them talking about the topic. So what you're seeing on Twitter is not the full story. Yeah, there's definitely things I could heavily criticize about Joe Rogan's opinion talked about, but also before we watch that clip, we got to remember he's interviewing. The interview kind of need to go along with whatever the person values and all that are to get them to open up. So it's something I've noticed watching the Joe Rogan podcast is he kind of adapts to whoever's on podcast to a certain extent. He doesn't compromise his values to, but he will to a certain extent adapt to meet the guest he's talking to. He's talking to the person behind the Spartan race. Like he's a go hard person that he's talking to. So if he's going to try and get 3 hours of good podcast interview out of him, not going to contradict him too much or be too contradictory or argumentative. Like he wants the guest to voice their opinions, so it makes sense that he's going to kind of adapt to that. And I'm like I already said, still we're going to criticize some of the things said, but we're going to do that within the context of full part of that conversation. But we should start by let me get my Twitter clip. So let us flange on over to that. So he enjoys them, but he's also a video game addict, self-admitted. That's where I'm going to criticize biased because he does jiu-jitsu. I'm also biased because I do jiu-jitsu. Not everyone becomes a jiu-jitsu. That's a small percent. Jiu-jitsu instructors do not drive Mercedes. That's uncommon. Maybe that's more common in That's not even the full clip. Oh, there's my headphone popping out. I gotta find a better headset for that. So if we go on over, so the JRE Clips, it's just a channel Rogan manages. I'm pretty sure Rogan manages. I've not confirmed. Sure, but it's a channel Rogan manages to just do clips of his thing, and they did like the full 4 minute clip. So I'll do the same thing where I'll kind of talk over it. But you know what? Before we do that, because of the parallels to drawn. We'll jump in with some criticism just to break up the watching clips and stuff. Well, with jiu-jitsu, like I was saying and talking over the 1 minute clip, not everyone becomes an instructor. That's a small subset of jiu-jitsu students that become instructors. I want to become an instructor when I get back to doing jiu-jitsu, but not everyone wants to do that. Not everyone enjoys that, and it's not everyone's cup of tea. And for sure, not a lot of jiu-jitsu instructors have Mercedes. That's uncommon, and that's only for the highest levels. So when it comes to, well, you could be doing this thing and not really get anywhere at it. You could say the exact same thing about jiu-jitsu, except at least with jiu. I mean, there is a difference. I don't want to get caught up in a false equivalence. At least with jiu-jitsu, you are learning that is directly applicable in the real world. And this is where, after we watch the full clip and start talking about it, things are going to get a bit new. Uh, we're really going to get into it. But I mean, if we just take that 1 minute clip, that is not the full thing. It's, I mean, you could say that about reading books, about TV, about movies, and people still find value in that. Like, you could say what Joe Rogan said about like any fiction. You could watch movies all day and never get anywhere, except for understanding movies and fiction and, within the world of the fiction and all of that. And a lot of people, or a good portion of people, can do that. Watch movies, play video games, whatever, and not really go anywheres with it other than having fun and getting personal value out of it, but not really applying it to it. But that's nothing to do with the content. That's a personal choice about how they're flanging content in their personal lives, and not everyone needs to go somewhere with it. It's totally fine to have hobbies and have fun. Anyways, I need a longer headphone cable. That's hilarious. Anyways, we're going to watch the full clip. Well, I guess we can skip past the first minute or so here because we've already watched that. We know what that is. Okay, the cuttings, or how they cut the clips, are a little bit off. Okay, yeah, this clip starts earlier on. My bad. I assumed they started at. I realized that I watched. That's the thing. The context. That's the thing. Before this, they're talking about kids who just kind of like don't really try and do anything and just are kind of wasting their life. And it's not just video games, although there is a problem with video games, and we'll talk about that. Video games aren't perfect. Nothing's perfect, but it's like any other tool. It's not the tool's fault how people that again and think about it. It's not the tool's fault how people use the tool. It's up to the people to own their actions, how to use the gaming, books, fiction, media. They're just tools. My parents let them. I might have had some problems when I was younger with that kind of stuff. I only smoked weed. I've stopped drinking when I got older, but yeah, I fucked around a lot in my high school, roughly high school era stuff because I had bullshit. So I totally get what he's saying. I lived that to us. I've got 5 gold medals. Wait, let me check my count. 5 gold medals, 3 silvers, and two. That's the thing. This is like completely relatable to me personally, in a lot of ways. Like I could almost be that person he's talking about, except having not fallen into pulling myself out of the trap. I don't know, bad phrasing. Anyways, that's the thing. Is there's a bigger context clip that came out on Twitter. There's more to it. Yeah, it's less than Rogan actually makes feeling it. I want to be a writer, and my parents dad on that and fucked with. Still getting over that. I gotta get to Yep. 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 Oh, there's not one. Well, Fortnite kinda, but Fortnite's kind of regular. Like, I'm not a big. That's a different. Joe Rogan's not even in sync with what's going on in gaming. He relies on Jamie. Like, he only really played Quake, as far as I can tell, and he didn't really play much other than Quake online multiplayer. So I'll let this before I rant on. Anyways, so I mean, it's a 2.5 hour long podcast. So I mean, if you really want the full context, you gotta listen to the whole podcast, or at least the all the stuff leading up to how they got onto that topic, because it's actually really interesting. Don't really have time to talk about that too much. But if you start putting this in full context, like they're talking about kids that have serious problems getting their shit together, and they did touch on some real things, but there is some real bias too. Like I was saying before, Joe Rogan's only really been an online Quake player as far as I can tell. Maybe he's played some other things, but like, you can tell his big thing. I don't need that headphone in. His big thing has always been Quake. Like I've watched like just about every single Joe Rogan podcast. The only ones I haven't are just a couple new ones I haven't caught up with. And like Joe Rogan's talked about gaming addiction, the fact that he had a problem with it. It was eating up time that he wanted to use to develop his stand-up comedy and stuff. And Joe Rogan definitely has bias. He hasn't played, at least as far as I can tell, he hasn't played a lot of these intense storytelling experiences that add the same kind of value as fictional books, movies, shows, etc. And I think a part of what's going on with some of Joe Rogan's comments is he just doesn't know. He just doesn't know the depth of storytelling that's come up, even though Last of Us 2 is good as an example as it's a bad example. Maybe Ghost of Tsushima in some ways a better example. But hell, both games, let's use them as lots of other games. Detroit Become Human. I haven't finished that one. I've just dipped my toes in it. I want to stream it when I have more of an audience because, like, ooh, I'm going to have so much commentary about Detroit and so many discussions to have about that. So much to it. When Detroit Become Human, even though I've not got that deep into it, it's actually a better example. Else, like it gets into topics like AI, what's consciousness, what makes a person, what at what point does AI become a person? You have to respect them as people, and it's a video game that tackles these issues very directly. And even though I never got that deep into it, you can tell exactly what like where not where it's going necessarily, but how it's approaching it and what kind of topics are at play, which are so many other games. Quantum Break's an excellent. Quantum Break was so good. Detroit, or almost said Detroit Become Horizon Zero Dawn. Oh my god, amazing storytelling. Um, Fallout. Wow, so like, and with Fallout, there's more like these ethical conundrums, and like, it really gets you thinking. At least for me, it got me thinking about what is ethical, what is not ethical, why is it ethical, why is it not ethical. And I'm eventually going to be flanging up this ethics series because just how gaming challenges ideas of ethics and storytelling found fascinating. Hell, even Doom is now story based, so it's not. You can throw the story away and still enjoy Doom and not pay attention to it at all. Enjoy the shit out of Doom. But Doom has a real story with like real gray areas that really make you think. Like, ooh, maybe the Doom player, like, because that's the thing with Doom, you got kind of this. I hope I'm not spoiling the episode I'm planning for ethics too much. Hopefully, I'm hyping it more than spoiling it. With Doom, you got kind of this ethical conundrum. Well, okay, well, we thought the Doom guy was like pretty much ethically valid. He's killing demons. Of course, he's right. Well, it turns out I don't want to spoil anything, but it turns out it's more of a gray area in the Doom plot, and it's not so clear cut as it initially. And I don't want to spoil anything, but it's not so clear cut. Oh, these are demons. They're evil. They must die. It's self defense. It gets more complicated, which makes it more interesting. That's the thing. Games are more than just these online experiences. And when it comes to me personally, I believe I already mentioned this, but a great example for me when I've wasted time playing Diablo 3. I spent way too many hours in Diablo 3. Yeah, I got value out of it. Yeah, I learned things from it. But did I really need to spend a seeing amount of hours? Well over 1,000. I'm not proud of it. I really could have spent 250 hours plus on Diablo 3, just a quarter of whatever I actually spent. I could have spent a quarter or less, still got the same value, and then spent all those like 750 plus other hours on other things that were more productive. Like at the time I was playing Doom that heavily, I had a knee injury, so I wasn't doing a lot of jujitsu, and there was kind of a messed I had some things that were not so awesome going on in my life, so it was escape, so there was value in that, but I could have spent that time working out and exercising, not lose being well as injured. I could have spent time trying to recover the injury and working on that. I could have spent time on personal development, betterment. I could have started streaming that early, which I wish I had done. Like, even though I got value out of Diablo 3, I could have spent a lot of that time still on other things, still got that same value. And that's actually why I've avoided World of Warcraft and I've not really played it, because I know I'll get lost in that. And I don't want to get lost in World of Warcraft. With all respect to World of Warcraft, it's a great game in its own rights, but I don't want to get lost in that square. There's like something in my eye. Contact lenses are better than glasses, but sometimes you get something in your eye and it's wow. Anyways, so yeah, like I've had my own experiences where I've avoided games so I don't lose myself or lose my time to them. I have lost myself in my time to games, and having that self-awareness that I can fall in video game addiction, and I do have a propensity for spending too much time on games times. I avoided World of Warcraft because I knew myself enough to know I don't need that in my life. And all respect to World of Warcraft, I get it; it's a great game, but I don't want to go there, and that's just my personal choice. And that's you can regulate yourself and you get value out of World of Warcraft. That's great. I'm not gonna poop on that or anything. That's totally awesome. Totally respect that, and that like I don't have anything negative to say. So I'm of a mixed here. Like I do get what they're saying, but kind of how they're saying it and how it's being framed, I'm like, well, you guys realize if you step back, say that about damn near anything. Like spend years doing anything, working on cars, jitsu, writing, um, carpentry, not really go anywhere as well. And if the hobby that you're getting fun and enjoyment and value out of, that's fine. That's totally okay. But if it's taken away from your ability to get ahead or progress as a human or better yourself as a person or taking away from your ability to earn a living or care for yourself, that's a problem. That's the thing is, anything can become a problem like that. Is game maybe used in it's got certain ways it can hook people because of the way games are designed and the way games work, so that if they're good games, kind of suck you in like that. Like I mean, we talk about games being addictive as positive quality of a game. It means the game's really good if it has an addictive quality, even though you don't want to be addicted. It's a weird dichotomy there. So, but if we break down that dichotomy, which we're not really going, don't have too much more time for that. It's very interesting because we kind of want that addictive quality without getting addicted, which that's really a topic for a whole nother video. But just to bring it back to the title and the thumbnail, Joe Rogan hate. No, is he a self-admitted addict? Yes, he's never denied that for a second and talked about that openly all over the place. Does that mean gaming is overall addictive? Well, yes and no. Joe Rogan's talked about that. He's talked about how, like, he's got that famous quote about cannabis, where it's like, yeah, cheeseburgers can be. So I don't think he meant to come across like the clip put it out there to be. But at the same time, you can definitely criticize context what he said, because really you apply that to so many other things. It's not, in ways, it's not really about gaming, it's about personal responsibility, personal accountability, and what do you want out of life? Like, if you're fine with just playing video games and having that as your hobby and work to game, and you don't even stream anything, just gaming's your thing. You're working just so you can buy games and hardware and all that, because passion and your hobby. That's fucking awesome. That's freaking, go for it. Flange it up. But don't compromise your health. Don't compromise your ability to earn a living. Don't compromise your self-care. Don't compromise yourself. Don't compromise others. As long as you have like your basic, flanging your life up and self-care and all that, not harming others, whatever the hell you want. If it's a hobby, you enjoy it, go for it. Go hard. It's not my place to judge. It's your place to find what you find value in. So, oh, I should have switched to I got caught up in what I was ranting about, didn't I? The fucking hotkeys. There we go. Anyways, so forgive me if the color's a bit off. I forgot to turn that one light off, and I don't want to re-record this a billion times, so we're just going with this cut. Yeah, I should wrap this up. I've got a lot more to say about this. If you want to hit me up in the live stream, so I'm going to be doing. I this weekend was hell, so I never really got to a point where I could get elite flanged up. So I don't know what I'm going to today. Honestly, I'll figure something out. We're going to stream something flat screen. Might go back to Alien. We already started that. I've been enjoying it. Yeah, we're probably going to do Alien. Yeah, if you want to hit me up during the stream to talk about this and work out some thoughts or whatever, flange it up. That's what this is all about. Is have discussions that enrich and add value and challenge thoughts and thinking. So yeah, if you got some things where you're like, oh, I want you to expand more on that, or got a question, or up on the live stream and get a discussion going, or flange it up here in the comments. It's just Lissa interactive in the comments, but the comments are great. It's just you might not get that immediate back and forth flanging going. Up on Twitter and social media, they'll be down in the description and all that. Yeah, this is all about starting discussions, having healthy, productive discussions, and yeah, I want to hear what you all have to say. What do you think? Joe Rogan hates gaming? Totally off base? Kind of more in lines with me, where it's kind of like kind of a bag, where it's like kind of some but not all. And yeah, I'm curious what other people's opinions and thoughts are. Flange that up. How? Yeah, also that thumbs up if you like this video, give that thumbs down if you don't. And as always, if you like the video, please offer me some constructive feedback so I can grow and improve, because that's what I'm all about, growing and improving. But just a small caveat, if you offer that critical feedback, kind and respectful, no need to be hateful. Also try and be specific. It's just hard to take action on vague feedback. So if you want me to take action on feedback, it just be a little bit more specific. Oh, you're too negative. It's just like, what do I do with that? I want to take action on that, but I need a little bit more to work with, Anyways, kitties are doing well, nice and fluffy and cuddly. They along a lot better now that I've got them on. So hopefully with clicker training, get them involved in more videos and some. And going to be as always. So keep an eye out. Yeah, flange it up, and I'll see you.